Good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, May 15th. I'm Denise Douglas. Thank you for joining us. Hundreds of bills, including one on cutting taxes and another on creating new jobs, were signed into law. Governor Larry Hogan, along with Senate President Mike Miller and House Speaker Mike Bush, were joined by supporters of various pieces of legislation for the ceremony. Hogan praised the work of lawmakers during the session. He says the new laws will make life better for Marylanders.
Our administration has been focused on restoring our state's economy and delivering relief for Maryland's long-suffering taxpayers. We've now cut taxes, tolls, and fees 4 years in a row by $1.2 billion. This morning, we will be signing important initiatives to, again, cut taxes for hardworking Maryland families, small businesses, and retirees. Including our veterans. I know many of them are here with us today. We're also signing legislation that will stop nearly $3 billion in new tax increases on Marylanders over the next 5 years. We're creating more jobs where we need them the most with our expanded More Jobs for Marylanders Act. And we're signing legislation to incentivize and encourage investment in Maryland's cybersecurity companies. Those and 225 other pieces of legislation that are all very important. I want to thank, again, President Miller and Speaker Bush and all of our legislators and colleagues on both sides of the aisle in both the House and the Senate. They really did a great job and worked very hard to make all of this legislation happen.
A total of 229 bills were signed into law. When it comes to sexual harassment, there is a new law that will help victims be able to come forward and report it more easily. That is because employers will no longer be able to protect themselves from liability by requiring that workers waive their rights to courts or enter confidentiality agreements before an incident happens. Also, companies with 50 or more employees have to report to the Commission on Civil Rights the number of sexual assault cases it has settled and the number of settlements made containing a confidentiality clause. All of this takes away the secrecy from the issue and prevents harassers from continuing their behavior. According to Senator Craig Zucker, one of the sponsors, he believes the bill will make a big difference in the workplace.
Well, hopefully this will create an environment where men and women who are victims of sexual harassment will step out of the shadows now and be able to report it, because it won't be part of their hiring to not be able to report it. And also the other part of the bill is it requires employers to report the number of sexual harassment claims in their business that will also be reported to the state. So this gives us the tools we need to track sexual harassment and preventing hopefully future sexual harassment in the future.
Delegate Chris Valderrama is the other sponsor on this legislation. The Prince George's Police Department says goodbye to one of its own today. Corporal Kevin Brooks, a 12-year veteran of the force, was laid to rest. Brooks died last week after having a medical emergency, which then led to a car accident on 395 in Virginia. He was assigned to District 5. Congressman Anthony Brown is recovering at home after suffering a minor stroke. It happened just a few hours after he left the funeral of County Executive Kevin Kamenetz last week. In a statement, his office says he experienced dizziness and nausea when he arrived home. His wife called 911 and he was rushed to the University of Maryland Prince George's Hospital Center. He's expected to make a full recovery. Well, on a much lighter note, it was a big night for local educators. Byron Scott is standing by with the details to explain exactly what we're talking about.
Well, again, Denise, on to education. The Prince George's school system honoring its Teacher of the Year. CTV's Monica McNutt was there and has the story.
Monday night at the Greenbelt Marriott, Prince George's County teachers traded their grade books for gowns.
Everywhere I go in this county, I see the greatness that is Prince George's County. The greatness that is imparted to our children by great educators, great leaders.
For the evening, those educators were celebrated for their diligence in the classroom at the Prince George's County Teacher of the Year Awards.
It is truly an honor to be among you and to have represented for the past year all of the wonderful teachers in our county as part of the Maryland State Department of Education's Teacher of the Year program.
26 teachers from pre-K to high school were nominated for the 2018 award and narrowed down to just 5 finalists.
Middle school. Our 2018 Teacher of the Year for the Prince George's County Public Schools is Delisha Myers from Tulip Grove.
The 2018 award winner, Delisha Myers, teaches 5th grade at Tulip Grove Elementary School and has been there for 13 years.
This is nice. Thank you, guys.
While it was the nominations from her peers that got her to the stage, Myers made sure to thank the people who she's dedicated her career to.
Now, my biggest champions are not sitting in this room. They are my students. And the first thing I will do when I see their faces, and yes, I am going to work tomorrow, and I will be in my classroom, and the first thing I will say to them is that we won.
Myers thanked her family, principal, past and present colleagues, but had one message she hoped the audience took away from the night.
This job is not one that you can do in isolation. Without the collaboration of your colleagues, you cannot do it. And I hope that tonight that we all leave here inspired to keep doing our very best for our children. Thank you.
And congrats to all the nominees. The event was held at the Greenbelt Marriott.